Hello, I'm Rex Childhouse, and I am not a professional at 3D printing. In August 2021, I purchased the Prusa i3 Mark III S Plus 3D printer, super system, and one of their downloads is the PrusaSlicer. Great software. Really like it. Precise, consistent, reliable. Love it. My wife's giving me a lot of stuff to print, and that makes her happy. My granddaughter loves the toys and stuff that we're printing on it. Based on that reliability, I bought the MMU2S, I think it is, shortly thereafter, the 5-filament selection system. Problematic from day one. Sometimes it printed, sometimes it didn't. Fought it with tech support, and finally just gave up and sent it back in October 2021 for a refund. Still waiting on that decision as of November 3rd, 2021. So really like the multiple filament print systems, and one of my first efforts using multi-filament prints without the MMU were these guys here, and those are on the other video. Wow, great precision, consistent manual filament changes, just annoying. And one of the questions was, is there a limit? Are you stuck with 2? So I downloaded off Thingiverse a column, and I'll give credit to the creator for this. Downloaded this guy here, tested it in 2, printed really well. I changed the size. I didn't want to spend a lot of time. And then went back into PrusaSlicer and started playing, and put 5 filament changes in them, 5 colors. Put these guys together. Print time, they're small. Intentionally, they're small. Their print time is about 20 minutes. I'm going to show you that, and I'm going to show you how to do this in PrusaSlicer. It's simple. It's just an expansion of what we did with the 2 colors, with the bookmarks, with these guys here. It's just an expansion. Just keep pulling, adding, and hitting the button. So one of the questions was how firm is the bond between the colors? Pretty firm. They're solid. They're not fracturable. They're not gentle. They're not sensitive. Whatever. They're pretty firm. So with this, I'm happy. Manual filament change is coached through by the control displays. Hit the knob, pull out the filament. Did it extract? Yes. Put the new filament in. Hit the knob, load it, purge, get the filament clear, and then restart the print. There's a couple of issues with the fact that you seem to get long hairs. They break off pretty easily. Anyways, I'm going to show you how to do this, just because a couple of people ask, can you do more than 2? I don't know if there's a limit. I will tell you that it will do at least 5, and that's what I'm going to show you. So really love the system, love the software. Wish the MMU was more reliable, more consistent. Maybe in a year or so, if they figure out some of the bugs, some of the annoyances, step back into it. So let's go over to PrusaSlicer and look at how to do this. I'm going to start with something on my hotbed, and just to do it, so to speak. And what I'm going to do is I am going to select File, New Project, tell it, yep, discard this and get rid of it. Now I'm going to go to File, Import, for those that are new to this. And since I opened this up, PrusaSlicer remembers where you went last time, and if you saved something there. Last file I saved was the G-code for the print, and as I said, in the print, I had not intended to put a camera face in front of it or to do this, and I decided to do this. I decided it's the best way to go. So I'm going to open up Gloomhaven Rock Column, is how I ended up labeling it. This is the default out of the thingiverse.com file, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll to bring it in a little bit bigger, and then I am going to select layers. And with layers, you get this additional line over here, and we just need to cut this into 5 pieces just to demonstrate what we did. And then you come over to the plus and you click, and that gives us our first color. And bring it down, click, that gives us our second color. And notice the difference in the color of the bar. And then click on it, bring it back, that's a fourth. Click on it, bring it down. Click on it, bring it down. Oops, I missed something here, and that is, and it's a mistake, it's not intentional. You got to bring it down and then click the plus. And then the bar turns a different color and the object turns a different color. It shows you where you're going to go. Click the plus and click the plus. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the brim. So that's in there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors. And now we're going to export this after we slice it. Hit slice. It's going to turn it into the file, and at this size it's 1 hour and 19 minutes long. The one that I made, those little guys were only 20 minutes. And at this point you hit export. It takes you back over. I'm going to just add really big. Into the file name, but it's going to save it back to where I came from last time, and you can change those directories as you go. And now we could take this over to the printer and print it. And as I said, I did them smaller so they didn't take a lot of time. I'm not going to print this one. One of the things tech support clued me into, I was having problems with the print quality, and we want to be at 0.15 millimeter quality for the printer setting, for print setting. Filament, I've got generic PLA in there. There's some other options. And for printer, the original Prusa i3 Mark III's and the Mark III's Plus, and the Mark III's Plus is mine. If we select supports on this doesn't need them, but if we select supports on this is just a good example. Put them everywhere, and then watch what's going to happen to our, what was it, 1 hour and 30 some minutes time. And what I found was, click on the options to go back to the hotbed and then to the layers again, and that frequently brings this guy up. Now we're at 2 hours and 27 minutes to print this because the supports are in place. Additional material, additional time, additional cost. I don't think you need it. Not on this one, but it works really well, and that's just a heads up on what supports will do for you. So from this point, we now have the file exported. I exported one earlier. I've already printed this, and I'm going to show you the prints as we go. We've got the file copied over to the SD card. The SD card's inserted into the printer using isopropyl alcohol, not rubbing alcohol. Rubbing alcohol has an oil. It'll interfere with the adherence of the filament to the heat bed, to the hotbed. So the PrusaSlicer is telling us down in its control window that it's passed its self checks. So hit OK, hit the button, go to print from SD, come down to that file that we made, and now it's going to bring the bed up to temperature. It's pretty close already. And I have a habit of taking the filament out of the extruder at the end of each and every print, and at that time cutting it off at 45. I've also drilled additional holes in the sides of my spools so that I can tag them out anywhere I want. it's done its 9 checks. Now it's coming back to tell us, hey, I need some filament. So press the button to unload, and there's no filament in it. Okay, I did that. I pulled it. Was it successful? Yes. Insert the new filament. Insert it. Push it all the way down to contact with the drive gear. Hit the button and you feel it suck it, pull it in. And now it's going to check it, and I have long nose pliers because the nozzle's 215 degrees. Was the filament change correct? I'm going to press yes. I'm going to pull those long hairs out, and now it's going to run that test strip. And at this point, if we needed to check Z height, hit the button, roll it down to Z height, hit the button again, and you can change Z height at this point. Mine's good. I'm going to hit the button, get me back to the info screen. And at this point, we have about 20 minutes remaining. I'm not going to run the video for the whole time that it's doing it, but I will capture, I hope, each one of the filament changes as we go, including the initial filament. We're using 5 different colors. The printer does not know what colors. It just knows, give me filament, don't give me filament, whatever, and whatever you control. Because of that, I've created a gizmo that I have like this, and it's how I want to put the filaments in. So to do this one actually correct, I need to change my last one. So this is actually my print order: black, yellow, blue, white, red. And when I'm designing, if I think of it, I take these guys over and I set this up, and when I had the MMU, this was really helpful. So, because they change. The printer doesn't know what color filament you want, it just knows you're giving it filament. Off and running, we'll see as the filament changes come in place. And we are at a filament change point. So it says press the knob to unload. Pull the filament out. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to stick it off into one of those extra holes that I drilled in my spools so that it doesn't tangle up. I'm going to grab my second filament, and I'm going to answer its question. Was it successful in extracting? Yes. Insert the new filament, the next filament, push it all the way down to the drive gear, hit the button, it sucks it in, and now it's going to purge, and stuff is going to come out the bottom. I'm going to grab it with my long nose pliers so that it doesn't end up in the print. Was it successful in cleaning? Yes. I'm going to hit the button again, grab that hair as it goes, and then we're off and running on the next layer. While the printer is printing, I changed my spools up here so they're in the ready. And as I said, one of the tips I picked up was if you use these holes on the top of the Z support to hold the filament, it's just convenient. And we are off to insert the next color, push the button, extract the filament. I'm going to stick it off in that hole off on the side. Was it successful? Yes. And hit that. Pull the next one down because it was handy and convenient, and for some reason I missed that one, so I need to trim it to a 45. Stick it in, push the button, it sucks it in. Now it's going to purge, and I'm going to grab it with the long nose pliers when it asks me, because I don't want those things to be dragged around. I'm going to click yes, it did clear itself. Now I'm going to grab that guy there. Now it's going to go off and do the third color. And by memory, every once in a while I screw up, cut the yellow at a 45, roll it back onto the spool, and change the filaments on the printer. Okay, up for another filament change. Press the button, press the knob, pull the filament, stick it off into that hex hole. Was it successful? Yes. Grab the new filament. Was it successful? Press it again. Grab the new filament, push it into the drive gear, let it suck in. It's going to purge. I got my needle nose ready. I think this is called technique, but I don't want that string around. Tell it, yes, it did it correctly. So it's going to push just a little bit more out. And then it's going to go off on itself, and these strings are annoying. And now we are up on the fourth color. So now I need to change the spools up on the top and get ready for the next one. And we're up to another filament change. Press the knob to unload the filament. Pull the filament out. Tell the knob, press the knob again. Was it successful? Yes. Press the knob again. It says load the filament. Push it down to the drive gear. Press the knob. It'll suck it in really quick. Get ready to pull those little strings, and that's technique, I guess. Was it successful? Yes. So I pull that off, and then I try to get that guy there, and now we are in the last color of the 5-color print. Coming very close to the end of this. Control is showing 0 minutes remaining. As I said, one of my habits developed because of the MMU issues is I unload the filament at the end of each time. I don't leave it in the extruder, so I'm going to hit the button, scroll down to unload filament, select PLA. It's going to preheat. It's already pretty warm, so give us a second. Press the button to unload, pull it out, and tell it okay. Okay, at this point the print is done. Out of habit, so I don't forget, I'm going to cut that red at a 45, spool it back in, find one of my custom drilled holes, stick it through, and the filament's out of our way, and our new print can join his contemporaries. And between a Thingiverse file, PrusaSlicer, and the Prusa i3 Mark III S Plus printer, using multiple filaments without using the MMU, we printed another item with 5 filaments in it. And I'm pretty happy. Thanks for watching.